Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna do this reading real quick. See exactly what we got going on out in the atmosphere. Whatever comes up, comes up. Whatever doesn't, um, you might need your own personal touch of clarity. Okay, so you know how it go. If it don't fit, don't force it. If it does, don't ignore it. Right? All right. So there's that portion. Of course, not all readings are gonna resonate with everyone. All right. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right. All right. So, uh, let's see what we got going on real quick. See what we got going on real quick. Got the Kipper deck out with Tour Man. That's the first one out. So it's some shifting going on because that five is the first thing that came out, right? That really like jumped out at me. And five being a mature man, and the irony of it is the adult doing, right? Or the full grown doing, right? In adulthood, being well studied, internationally studied, or studying internationally, right? And what it means to be mature. That's what it's given. Having a world view, knowing what your position is in the world. That's what that's going to be about with this mature man. How well, and I was just going to say how well read one would be. And then we got courthouse, despair. Now these all came out in reverse, y'all. This all came out in the reverse. Okay, so the irony of this coming out in reverse. This is for the alchemical aspect. It'll be different things that will be coming in. So courthouse, despair, high honor, journey. So one, not being in the courthouse, not being judged, is what I'm getting from that. Courthouse, despair, high honor, journey. So what will be coming in with dealing with the mature man is giving reflecting over some things. Within one, not being judged, or with being judged based off of the sadness. And then we got that 3223 mirroring numbers. And then it'll be about one not being on a journey and not being of high honor. In short, the judgments that come into place before one would have been of high honor and the reflections. And then within this is given back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Is kind of what the essence is giving me. It's giving like a mutable madness situation going on for real, y'all. But what will be coming in is the judgment of despair, even within being in high honor and being a part of the journey. I'm hearing you can't always have what you want. Can't always have what you want. You can't always get your way. Anything else? Oh, these wanted to come out so bad, and how stuff want to come out, but you have to pull it out. So you got to do a little bit of work to get it out. Main male, lovers, wealthy man, sudden wealth. This is about a completion that would have come into place with a message. The completion that will come into place with a message. Part of it that I noticed, right, that came into place with it is and that I'm seeing is right after this journey aspect with the mature man not being on a journey and it being the main male being a lover and a wealthy man and a sudden wealth. So it's like it's the shifting portion. And what the message is that'll come into place is how a main male would be lovers with a wealthy man. Oh wow. And that would be where the southern wealth will come into place. How someone would love, how two men would love each other. Brotherly love is giving brotherly love, is giving the brotherhood, is giving fraternal situations. It's also giving that whole, oh, yo, no. Okay, because it's I'm hearing, how you would love your brother, but it's also giving fraternal twins and how people can look alike, right? But and the irony that comes into place with fraternal twins is they're born on the same day, right? And they're born on the same day, born at the same time. Well, coming out of the womb closely to each other, right? But one is always older than the other. Okay? And some of the other stuff is I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. How two men, how brothers would have gotten some stuff done between them in the lovers aspect, and that's all I'm gonna touch on it. So it's that part. Boys clubs. You know what it's given? It's given with boys clubs how they would experiment with certain things in the boys clubs. For lack of better phrasing, if you know what playing swords is, and what goes on during it, right? Prince of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, teenager, or Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming in with an offer, but Virgo essence. Oh, this is the star seed. Okay. And then it'll be Ten of Swords, the endings that comes into place with one not being of high honor. Okay. And that being the completion of the cycle on a humanitarian, okay, scale. Okay, so star seeds, celebrities, angels, whew, all of those, right? All of the ethereal cosmic beings, basically what this is talking about. And there being a conflict. There being conflict with the Six of Wands. There being conflict as a recognition. And conflict of thought, the shift in the thoughts, and what it is for a starseed to win at all costs. One of the things it was, right, that happened yesterday, y'all. Somebody called, was talking about what it is to be, magical, basically. And the conversation was that came into place is, oh well, you must be a witch, right? And it's one of those women have any woman, right, since the Salem witch trials and the witch hunts and things of that nature of the realistically, technically it's the 1300s, right? But during the Dark Ages, what it was that took place during that time was any person could be accused of witchcraft, right? Within them being accused of witchcraft, if they said, yeah, I am one, nothing happened to them. When they didn't say it, that's when they got all this pressure and all this other stuff put on them. Now, even at that time, right, because we have to remember through Book of Enoch, that's something, through Book of Enoch, the angelic aspect, that's what constituted women in more in particular to be witches, because they had these children with these ethereal beings. So I don't know what that's going to be dealing in regards to, but there you go. But the completion of the cycle, and then it being the world. One of the things that I was thinking about, though, or I was not only thinking about, but I was recalling, right? And it being about a recall on some stuff. But one of the things I was recalling, and that was coming to me as a download last night, was about how it was a black woman, right, that her crown and throne and all that was taken from her in the spiritual aspect, because she was the one who was leading the armies and stuff, and she was the one who was communicating on behalf of Earth to the other galaxies and to the other planets, right? So, and I'm saying planets, but I'm also hearing planted or being planted. What it is to be planted, what it is to be in one space, but not stuck. It's kind of what I'm getting from it. So in regards to this, right, within the whole judgment portion and one not coming in with an offer, that being the heartache, part one, and then the despair that'll come into place that comes with a new beginning, and the naivety, the despair of one's naivety. The how could I have not known portion that'll come into place with it. How could I have not known, or I didn't know? One of the things I'm going to go ahead and put out here real quick, y'all. Whenever you ask a question for something, you'll get the answer and it'll manifest around you. You have to be able to pay attention to it. And with these numbers, right, and the mirroring aspect of how a mature man wouldn't be one's judge and jury. It being a rap. It being a rap. That's what it is. 1414 when I said that. Okay. Now, because what I was hearing is the G-Eazy, right, version of you don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. Dun, 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 dun. And don't tell me what to do. And don't tell me what to say. And everything he's saying in that, right, is the masculine or the conversation, right, is that would be held between for that particular mindset. Because when you look at rap, it's like poetry in motion, right? It's poetry sped up. I know what I gotta do. But in any event, the understanding that comes into place with the whole winning at all costs at a cosmic level, on a cosmic level. Some of this other stuff, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, is gonna be about Earth, right? Because I got these David Bowie cards out, so you know, some more hidden messages. I won't go too far into it though. But it'll be about the main male's lover in Earth, and even on her, it's a black woman. And the code being in the left, the code for writing, the code for uh, I want to say annotations and things of that nature, okay, of that nature being, it'll be about how a code would be user friendly, but having the code on the left and the healing on the right. And even in this, it has seeds and everything in it. Okay? Huh. And how within a mature man, one not being a pioneer is a betrayal in asking for assistance. Let's see what's clearing out real quick. One of the things I feel preempted to say is uh, when you're an emperor, there is, and I'm hearing the Your Majesty aspect. But when you are an emperor or empress, or you also constitute as priest and priestess, right? So prime ministers and things of that nature, right? And it's supposed to be about the whole equality aspect that will come into place, but within the equality, there has to be acknowledged of there being equalness. It's something that that will go on. So if it's okay for one person to do it, it's okay for another person to do it. Yeah, that's not true. The say all end all that comes into place, which is the whole reason why there's always a system of checks and balances, and how there's always the right hand man and left hand man, and how people like to speak in regards to the right hand and the left hand, but there's demonization. They discredit, demonize, and defer one side over the other because it's more comfortable and because it's easier regulated. That's another one. And because it's more accepted by everyone. Okay. In the extension of, yep, the jealousies in the beginning, in a passionate new beginning. The other portion of it is one not being apologetic in a passionate new beginning. That's the extension that comes into play. So I want to say universal portion, but I also want to say the um humanitarian scale. How you should, yeah, no one should ever have to apologize for just being themselves. That's part one. But when you are hurting and offending others, that's where the problem comes into place. Okay, let's see. there being this influence of disappointment in one's willpower, disappointment, shifting, sadness, uh, change of the emotion that comes with the month of May. Okay. No, because one of the things that I know happens around that time, of course, we have like daylight savings and all those programs and things that were put in place, but paying attention to what the reason for the program and the mechanics would be is to make life easier. Oh, 2055, as I said that. All right. All right, that's it. Okay. And then one not being recognized. And not being one not having our wishes fulfilled. With in the alchemical portion, the wish fulfillment. And then there being the influence, oh my goodness, of one's fortune. And then there being in the Seven of Swords aspect, it being the sneakiness, the stealing of one's willpower, the clarity that comes into place with having movement. And willpower. And then there being this temperance and it's not a pinnacle. Huh. In short, the angel's dark night of the soul is what's clearing out. How angels realistically were constituted as witches. Witches, warlocks, things of that nature, right? It's giving Aleister Crowley. For real, y'all. It's giving that whole aspect. And even in that, if you even pay attention to those principles with Aleister Crowley, the first one is do no harm. The second is do what thou wilt. In short, even in that dogma, programming, diaspora of manifesting, there is a knowing that whatever you get, whatever you put out, you get back times three on a continuous basis. And that's 2255. In short, that's the master building aspect and even the masonry portion that comes into place with there being with shifting and changing things. All right, let's peep what this nature portion is. Oh my goodness, I just heard doing healing rituals for those who will be enlightened is how I'm going to word that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they're humans or they're having a human experience. And when you can recognize that everyone needs to be healed, you definitely need to make sure that you heal those individuals who have an impact on the world. You don't have just an impact on your world. You have an impact on the world. So, yeah. And did. And I did. Yes, I did. The other thing it was, right? Within this income and wish fulfillment, yeah, because it'll be about the theft of changing one's emotions. It's one of those, yeah, how a person would want someone to be afraid of them, and it's one of those 24, and it's one of those you'll be more afraid. You should be more afraid of yourself than you should be of anyone else, basically. All right, in this world, it would be one not embracing the unknown, not embracing what they don't know. Part one, part two, it'll also be about in this whole embrace the dark aspect in a reverse, not being in the emotional or the moon essence. And then yeah, I knew this time to reflect was gonna come out. On the incoming aspect, it'll be about time to reflect. Now, like I said at the beginning of this, with this ending betrayal of asking for assistance and not being of high honor, one wouldn't have reflected on their betrayals for within asking for assistance. You know what this is giving? Betrayal and ending of asking for assistance. You know what this is giving? That people would have played a game or played the game without thinking about what it is that would have happened to them. That's why you shouldn't play games with people. Yeah, you shouldn't play those types of games. Especially when you don't know what it is that will be going on. And then it will be show that you care. One wouldn't have cared. One wouldn't have shown that they cared. But within the incoming essence, it'll be about how it is that one would need to show that they care. And because they would have let go of the old. Yeah, I'm hearing The Grudge. Like in the movie The Grudge. Okay, if you've ever actually watched the movie The Grudge, in the movie The Grudge, it was a young woman, right? And she was in love with this guy from America. She was Chinese. It's giving that whole yellow fever thing that we don't necessarily always talk about. But her go ahead say what you have to. Yeah, here's the deal that comes into place with it. When you marry for money, and in The Grudge, what ended up happening is the dude, he had like this massive hump on his back, right? He couldn't stand up straight, he couldn't sit up straight, and it was because her spirit was on him, right? And it affected his posture. I've done this reading before. When I did this reading, it was when I was over on Facebook. And then, hold on, I know this ain't about Mark Zuckerberg and his wife. Pause. Her and the karmic essence that's associated with it. Let me say this right here, right now. You cannot now nor can you ever blame the karmic essence because karma can go both ways. It can be good or it can be bad. Now, depending on how it is you handle things is what makes it good or bad. You get egotistical, guess what? It's going to turn bad. Period. Okay? So, make the sacrifice. Nurture all you love. And not paying attention to, don't heed your dreams. Okay, so on the incoming with heeding your dreams, you got to reflect over what it is. What this is kind of giving is that you need to make sure you pay attention to what it is you've been dreaming about. And in a dream, it's not going to be about the actual person, but depending on what vibration you are and what gifts you have, you're supposed to be able to dissect the dream in totality. Okay? Yeah, so that way, because the way the mind works, especially if you're an intuitive to any degree or any master level number, 11, 22, 33, 44, right? Yeah, I'll talk to the 44 aspect too. But your mind is going to give you information based off of information you already have. Okay? And within us even delivering messages and things of that nature to the collective, right? What has a tendency to happen is, I just heard radical gratitude. That would be in Uranus aspect. There certainly would be. There certainly would be. Being thankful would be a rebellious act. But
The mind, the way it works is it gives you information based out of experiences it is that you would have had, and it'll tell you about what it is that will be going on, okay, around you or with different situations it is that you will have uh, being presented to you in that moment. Now, even in regards to the starseed aspect and the winning at all costs and all these varying aspects, yeah, it's one of those how you wouldn't have to be afraid of the old stuff, right? Based off of different maturities that would have come into place. Okay? And the other part of it, yeah, how a person would have money. The wealthy man would get money. Get money. He gonna get money. I can't remember what that other part is. When I walk by, even smell like money. Dope man clean, not a stain on me. Oh, get money. What something is a rap. It's a rap and it wrapped up. It's over. Law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of essences. With the influences of heart chakra and ear chakras, the answers that you seek are in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving love. This is given, of course, a blocked heart chakra, but it's also given um, Notice messages notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. One of the things it is that I noticed, right? Yeah, is that like on the humanitarian scale, right? Um, how Aquarius and Sagittarius essence, they're very, very similar, right? Because they're both alchemical cards and both alchemical signs, right? Just like Jupiter is an alchemical property which deals with understanding what it is that will be going on and process and how it is you process the world around you. It's the same with Uranus and the processing of the world around you. Now, the difference between the two is when you're talking about Uranus, it's the creation of how you would have gathered information and made sure that you give a perspective that would be accepted by the entire world. 3333 when I said that. Ensure something that everybody can relate to. And the other portion of it will be about how one's heart chakra would have been blocked in regards to what it is that they would have heard. Blocked, crossing, or yeah, what it is they would have felt, or there would have been an influence that would have come into place. Now, the incoming portion would be about one, not whether or not a person is a goddess. Yeah, because within what's clearing out is what we're talking about in the dark night of the soul of being an angel, the dark night of the soul and being an angel, the dark night of the soul being an alchemist, the dark night of the soul being an earth angel, the dark night of the soul that would come into place with Sagittarius essence and its highest form and the higher self as well. Now the other portion of that would be about the incoming offers that would come in regards to being an angel and the incoming wish fulfillment, which is goddess portion, right? Express your divine feminine essence, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. And it wouldn't be about embracing it wouldn't be about embracing your divine feminine essence. It'll be about embracing your divine masculine essence in the world. In short, the divinity that comes in what you do, not necessarily what you feel. Has Saturn gone direct? Because this is kind of what this is giving for the past couple days, whether or not Saturn has gone direct. Yeah, because it wouldn't be about the goddess aspect, it'll be about God. And if you believe God is a woman, but God is a masculine term and goddess is a feminine term, 3544 when I said that. So ultimately what that means for you is you got to pay attention to the intelligence that comes with shifting within you healing. All right, 3555 when I said that. So, and the intelligence that comes with a major shift in things. All right. One of the things that I will say in regards to with everything it is that I've been seeing kind of go on is, yeah, every prophet or ascended master went through the exact same situation, right? They went through the deferment aspect. They went through, after being deferred, if they were discredited, and after they were discredited, they were demonized, right? And that's something that happens on a continuous basis with leaders. It's going to be about who the quote-unquote victor is, and who it is that tells the story and keeps the story being told. That's what that realistically boils down to. So I'm hoping that helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that will be going on. If you'd like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you're more than welcome to do so at Lightwork and Lightwork. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe, guys. It helps me with getting the message out to the collective. And the other portion of it, right? A lot of this is going to be about what's in your ninth house, in addition to what it is you will understand for an ending to be, how it ends. All right. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It's not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.